New book release. Get your copy. Available at Amazon, Google Play, and Google Books.
This book provides a compelling reflection on the perspectives of young American citizen, navigating the complexities of contemporary America. Through the insights of influential figures like Minister Louis Farrakhan, Jane Elliott, and Donald Trump, it delves into the myriad challenges facing the nation. Each speaker offers a unique lens through which to view the state of America, discussing how history has shaped the current climate and suggesting pathways for healing and unity. Despite a shared acknowledgement of a higher power in their speeches, the prevailing sentiment highlights an increasing division within the country. Central to this discourse is the theme of self-love from God's perspective, emphasizing the need for empathy among citizens. The book serves as a poignant reminder of the urgency for collective understanding before the nation descends further into crisis, potentially veering toward a state reminiscent of a third world nation. I previously reported on the concept of destiny swap in 2025, but now I want to highlight a troubling story about a woman who tragically lost her family home to a homeowners association, HOA. It appears that this HOA essentially took her home, which I believe should be illegal. It's concerning how these injustices are becoming more common in our society today. At first glance, Trinita Rogers seems to possess the wisdom necessary to navigate the treacherous waters of deceit. Surely, one would expect her to identify when a devious group aims to strip her of her family's hard-earned wealth for a mere $1,491.23. Yet, shockingly, the home was sold to a buyer for $221,618.32, despite its actual market value being a staggering $413,306. Unbeknownst to her, this woman possesses a treasure that many lazy and greedy individuals would love to snatch away. Rather than putting in the hard work to find their own fortune, they sit on community boards, pretending to be whimsical leprechauns always lamenting, "I want me gold." Their incessant cravings echo daily, yet they remain unwilling to lift a finger to achieve their own success, hoping to benefit from someone else's efforts instead.
Have I mentioned that I want me gold? I want me gold. I want me gold. I want me gold. I want me gold. I want me
A phone call this August caught homeowner Trinita Rogers by surprise. The caller asking when she was moving out.
And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, I bought your house in an upset bid."
This was news to Rogers. She had already paid off her Pitt County home of 12 years.
So I kind of thought it was a joke.
But she soon found out this was no trick. Her home, valued at $413,000, was sold for just $221,000. It turns out her HOA foreclosed on her home 11 months ago, after it says Rogers didn't pay her dues.
Well, why didn't you pay the $1,400? What's your response to that?
That's all I hear. And I say, I would have if I known.
Rogers claims she had no idea she was in an HOA. She also says she got no notice of the debt or the foreclosure, or even of the sale.
No one ever came to your door. No one ever called you. No one ever sent you an email saying you owed this much.
No.
Court documents showed this isn't the first time that the HOA has placed a lien on her home, in 2013 and in 2017. Still, Rogers said she got no notice then. This time, Rogers was mailed letters, but she says she thought they were legal advertisements and never opened them. And she never signed the official papers.
The HOA never served her lawsuit papers. They just didn't do it. That is fatal.
Chapel Hill attorney Jim White is now helping Rogers in her fight for her forever home.
The thought that someone could just casually move forward and take someone's home over a $1,400 debt without turning over heaven and earth to make sure that they knew just seems wrong.
The HOA management company declined to comment, citing the pending lawsuit. But the I-Team discovered the association filed liens on 5 other homes last year, all for less than $1,200.
So I think the problem is there really is no such thing as HOA foreclosure defense in North Carolina. The law is tilted heavily in favor of homeowner associations.
White says HOAs are run by national management companies that have lobbying power, and there's no oversight. The law allows the associations to foreclose and sell homes with debts of only hundreds or thousands of dollars. But White questions if it's ethical.
First thing is to make it harder for an HOA to foreclose. I mean, they're just simply people who don't understand that it's too casual a process. I think the process should be a lot harder. There should be strict notice requirements and strict proof of notice.
Rogers has a court date next month where she's going to try to win back her home. Now, some tips for you. Before you buy into a community, know if they have an HOA. Read those bylaws. And once you're in, vote for the board, participate, go to those meetings so you stay informed.
It is evident that the board members targeted this woman once they received information proving that the property was free of liens. It's likely that they utilized their legal contacts to prepare documents that contained complex legal terminology, preying on her unfamiliarity with such language. This tactic not only shows a lack of transparency, but also exploits her potential ignorance, raising serious ethical concerns about their motivations and actions. Let's examine this story carefully, and I can perhaps demonstrate how this woman was deliberately targeted. She possessed a home without any liens, boasting a market value of $413,306. It would have been simple for her to secure a loan of $1,491.23 to cover her HOA fees. Any financial institution would have readily approved an equity line of credit if she had chosen that route. Instead, the HOA took advantage of her lack of awareness about the crucial strategy of leveraging an investment asset to safeguard her family inheritance while leading a prosperous and fulfilling life. I hate to say this, but I must because our community must do better. This apparently was a case where this woman may have either inherited this property or experienced fortunate circumstances that led to her substantial wealth in some venture. This unexpected wealth, totaling over $400,000, signified a transformative shift in her life, requiring her to embrace new knowledge in wealth management. It was essential for her to recognize the responsibilities that accompany such a substantial increase in living standards. Unfortunately, her failure to adapt and reevaluate her life accordingly ultimately led to the loss of the family inheritance. The board members of this HOA understood that this woman lacked the intellect needed to maintain her home, so they placed liens on the property in an attempt to force her out of the neighborhood, all while interest and late charges accumulated on the unpaid invoices. They probably wanted her to list the home for sale so they could bring in buyers who could only qualify for a $225,000 home, despite her property being worth over $400,000. This is another example of what I call destiny swap. This situation is a prime illustration of what witchcraft looks like, not the silly beliefs most people tend to think of. It's highly probable that the individual who purchased her property for only $221,618.32 lacked the necessary financial qualifications to afford a home valued at its true worth of $413,306, particularly given the current job market. It seems to me that this man had a significant advantage in the situation with the HOA foreclosing on her property. By having the property appraised for $413,306, he was able to leverage that appraisal to qualify for a purchase price of $221,618.32, walking away with $191,687.68 definitely raises ethical concerns. It feels exploitative, especially considering the circumstances that led to the foreclosure. This situation certainly highlights the darker sides of real estate transactions and how some individuals can profit at the expense of others. It's hard to see this as anything but a manipulation of the system, and it aligns with what many would consider unjust enrichment. Organizations like homeowners associations, HOAs, should be subject to stricter oversight, in my belief. No community board should hold more power than the homeowners themselves. If I'm right, a simple 2/3 majority of homeowners can dismantle these organizations in their neighborhoods. HOAs were meant to serve the homeowners' interests, collecting fees to maintain beautification and safety in the community, not to assume control over neighbors or exclude those who don't fit the board's preferences by forcing foreclosures on their property. It is situations like this that highlight deeper issues contributing to the decline of the American economy. As the disparity grows and people are pushed out of their homes unfairly, it raises questions about the future of our society. When we look ahead to a time when America might face significant challenges, It will be interesting to see who truly values citizenship and chooses to stay in the country. Such circumstances might reveal a lot about people's commitment to this nation and their willingness to engage in rebuilding efforts.
New book release. Get your copy. Available at Amazon, Google Play, and Google Books.
Dive into the enlightening verses of Jeremiah 30 verses 1 to 3, which convey a powerful message of hope and inspiration for God's people. This engaging book not only examines the transformative journeys of renowned figures like Robert Kelly, formerly known as R. Kelly, and Sean Combs, formerly Diddy, but also emphasizes how straying from God's Word can dramatically impact one's life purpose. Presented in a beautifully formatted digital file, this resource is ideal for anyone seeking spiritual growth and a renewed sense of direction. Immerse yourself in this enlightening journey of faith and encouragement, and discover how divine restoration can lead to profound change in your life. Start your transformative journey today.
New book release. Get your copy. Available at Amazon, Google Play, and Google Books.
Hi, you guys. I just want to come on here and just talk to you for a little while. I won't be long. But I don't think I had this conversation with you guys. I know I had this conversation outside to different friends and to different people that I interact with. But I want to share something with you guys. If God blesses you with something and He elevates your life, then you must know that you must elevate your education system in order to keep what God has given you. Just because you receive something large does not mean that you can still have that same limited mindset. So when God increase your life and He increase you with something, then you have to increase your education system in order to keep it and maintain it. If not, it will be taken from you, just like in this case right here, in the Rogers case. So I just wanted to share that because you know, it's funny. I listen to some of these women that go on Kendra G show, and it's hilarious because some of these women say that they want these six-figure men and they want this man to be this and that, and they're not even that. In order for you to get that kind of man or to get anything of that status, you have to be able to match energy. If you can't match that energy, then no, you cannot have it. So if that's something that you want, you have to work towards that in order to obtain it. Because the universe is not just going to simply give that to you. I mean, yes, there are guys that's out here that's sleeping with different women and stuff like that. But just know that's $40, okay? They're not worried about $40. And if these girls are out here, you know, having fun for $40, well, you know, God bless them. Whatever makes them happy. You know, that's not my life. That's not what I'm into. So it really doesn't